What's going on, people? Mike Seatown here, and yeah, Happy New Year to you all. As we transition into a new year, as usual, that comes with these videos where I discuss my favorite releases of the previous year. And yeah, I gotta say, this was an amazing year for music. I heard so many things last year, 2024, that just blew me away. And putting this list together was actually a lot of fun. But you know, I do this every year, and there are fewer things that I enjoy more than sharing music with y'all and having y'all share music with me. I know there's been a little bit of debate around people doing these lists because people think that ranking them kind of promotes competition, and that's super valid, but that is absolutely not what I'm trying to do, especially because who's watching this little raggedy channel anyway? I don't think many artists are tuning in and being like, well, Mike Seatown put us at number 5, you know, and so was at number 3, so we gotta work hard. Nobody's thinking that way. But yeah, this is really just about having fun sharing music. And, you know, narrowing this down to a top 30, which is the number I do every year, was hard. And that's because there were a few projects that I heard towards the end of the year that I just couldn't justify including, like the Uboa Impossible Light album, which is fantastic death industrial, that I only heard like a few weeks ago. The Conifere album that, you know, there were just so many good projects. So I'm going to do something that I don't normally do. I'm going to drop an honorable mentions list down there in the description section so y'all can check that out. I feel like I always have to say this, but one thing you will notice is that there are no hip hop albums in this video. That's because even though I am no longer on Dead in Hip Hop, those are still my guys, so they were nice enough to have me on to give my list of the best hip hop albums of 2024. That link is also down there in the description section. So I also want to get this out of the way since I've made this mistake in the past. I try to only promote bands on my channel that have given me no reason to think that they're like sketchy or weirdo fascists, but there's always a possibility that I missed an interview or a post or something. So if that happens here, I apologize. If you know something that I don't, my email is very easy to find on here. I'd love to know, so feel free to shoot me a message. Obviously, that doesn't take away from the music being enjoyable, but that's not the point. The point is, I sure as fuck don't want to promote that shit on my channel for obvious reasons. And, you know, if you're about to type, who cares? Well, clearly I care, dummy, you know? And this is my channel, so, you know, if you don't like what I'm saying, you're more than welcome to click off. I won't be offended, and I wish you all the best in the new year. One more thing to get out of the way. This is my list. This is not your list. If you do not like my list, literally nobody in the world cares. But do us all a favor and drop your amazing list down there in the comment section, and we can all look at your list, and maybe my list will be better next year because I will kind of siphon a little bit of your amazing musical taste. Because again, this is all about sharing music and having a good time, so do that. So yeah, moving on to the list. Since there are 30 albums here, I'm not going to give a mini review of each one. I'm just going to give a brief description so you can know whether or not you should check it out. But since my taste in music is absolutely impeccable, I think you should check out every single album that's on this list. Okay? So yeah, let's get to it. At number 30, we have Father Befouled with Immaculate Pain. I was originally not going to include EPs in this list at all, but this release made me say, fuck that. It's just fantastic, filthy, evil death metal. I actually forgot that this came out this year until I was doing this list, which is why it's so low, because I was not about to redo the whole list. So it is what it is. Number 29, we have Sect with Plagues Upon Plagues. Super aggressive, crusty, socially and politically aware hardcore. Number 28, I have Autumn Brigade with Apocalyptic Swan Songs. This is fantastic, experimental, but also very infectious neo-folk. At number 27, I have a band and an album that I'm not even going to try to pronounce. It's right there. You can read it for yourself. But this project drops like 10 releases a year, and they're all quality, but this might be the first time that one of the albums has actually made my list because I always forget about them. I don't really know why. I'll have to discuss that in a different video. You know, even though I listened to all of them, you know, multiple times, but This one was just so incredibly well made. It's great melodic black metal with some awesome riffs and a knack for making it all very catchy. At number 26, we have Lial Animals, I think is how it's pronounced, with Clivota. And this is dark, dirty, cold wave. It's like if somebody took the pornography album from The Cure and dropped some My Bloody Valentine on it. You'd get something close to this. It's great. Number 25, I have Nails. Every bridge burning. I don't care what you want to call this, grindcore, metalcore, hardcore, power violence. It doesn't matter. All that matters is this is incredible, pummeling, filthy, and just awesome. At number 24, we have Movicium, and I'm not going to try to pronounce the album title, it's right there, but it's fast, aggressive, mysterious sounding black metal from Svartadathus. And let me tell you something, when it comes to black metal, he absolutely ran this year. Number 23, I have Calm with Grave Impressions of an Unbroken Arc. I loved their last album, and I love this one too, but it's quite different. This one's more of a death doom album with lots of prog elements, some black metal sensibilities, and even a little bit of like melodic death metal thrown in there. Like, this is just a really unique and creative album. Number 22, I have New Duo with Studio City. I described this before as loungy synth pop, and I still don't have a better description for it. Just know that it's great and you should listen to it. Number 21, we have Candelabrum with Transmutations. Great, fantastic, amazing raw black metal with some weird post-punk vibes to it. At number 20, we have Nimbifer with another album that I'm not going to try to pronounce. You see it on the screen. It's great, riffy black metal with really interesting and creative and almost complex songwriting. Number 19, this was a sleeper of an album. This was I Slept on the Moon, Only the Stars Know of My Misfortune. Yeah, this album snuck up on me and not enough folks are talking about it, which makes me think that not a lot of folks heard it. Or at least not as many as I think should hear it. But yeah, it's absolutely stellar, shoegazy black metal with a lot of post-rock elements and just incredible songwriting. Number 18, I have 6 Organs of Admittance with Time is Glass. Beautiful and intricate, atmospheric folk music. And again, I said this before in the mid-year, but this is some of Ben Chasney's absolute best work. At number 17, I have Sidon with Visual Kill, The Blossoming of Psychotic Depravity. And yeah, this is riffy black metal with cool songwriting with some interesting, almost moshy metalcore riffs thrown in there. And yes, that description would normally turn me off, but the way they do it absolutely turns me on. At number 16, I don't know if it's Zilgi or Zilgi, with Long Legs, the original motion picture soundtrack, score, however you want to do it. This is a major return listen for me, as it's perfect for listening to while relaxing or writing, which I did a lot of this year. And yeah, Zilgi or Zilgi, this is Elvis Perkins, who is Oz Perkins' brother. Oz Perkins is the person who made Long Legs, and Elvis also did the soundtrack for Black Coat's Daughter, which was also fantastic. But yeah, this is very dark and haunting soundscapes that remind me a lot of like one of the darker Coil albums. But yeah, I love the movie, but listening to this record reminded me just how much I love the score as well. Moving on to number 15, I have Black Salice with Atavistic Possessions. The masters of atmospheric, filthy, raw black metal. They do it again. It's awesome. Number 14, I believe it's pronounced Tornin, but again, album title's there on the screen. It's another Svartadathus project, mystical black metal with a whole lot of atmosphere and great riffs. Number 13, Knock Loose. You won't go before you're supposed to. And yeah, this is holding strong, man. This is a great album. Super creative, intricate, and heavy as hell metallic hardcore. Really, really good. Number 12, we have Over with Liminal Animals. Now, this was an interesting addition to my list. While I love this, I expected to love it more. And it may just need to sit with me a bit longer because I'm not sure that I can place my finger on what's holding me back from falling in love with it the way I've done all other older albums. But it's still really well crafted psychedelic synth pop. And talking it out loud, I think it might be a bit of the mix that's bugging me. But either way, Over is gonna do some incredible Over shit, and they did. Number 11, once again, I don't know how to pronounce this band's name. I'm gonna try. I think it's Uku Patcha, and I apologize if I'm butchering that, which I'm sure I am. But the album is Yawar. Incredibly well-crafted, indigenous-themed black metal with a lot of interesting approaches to composition. At number 10, we have Golden Apes with Our Ashes at the End of the Day. This was on my mid-year, and it's still here. Goth rock with some nice, heavy riffs and just perfect vocals. Number 9, Paysage d'Hiver with Diverge. I enjoyed his last album quite a bit, Geister, but this is a return to the more ambient and freezing cold black metal sound that got me hooked on his music almost 20 years ago. Number 8, I have Johnny Blue Skies, aka Sturgill Simpson, with Passage du Désir. Man, I don't know. It's on there. You can read it. But yeah, this wasn't a really big country music year for me. I really liked a few albums, you know, the Jesse Daniel album, the Ben Jarrell album I enjoyed quite a bit, even though I just heard it like a week or so ago. But this one is the one that stuck with me the most. You know, when I got into a modern-ish country mood, I threw this on, man. This just got better and better for me as the year went on. Great old school country with a lot of heart and soul. All right, at number 7, I have Shamaka Hutchens with Perceive Its Beauty, Acknowledge Its Grace. This is absolutely beautiful avant-garde jazz with flutes, piano, harp, and some really interesting features. So definitely check that out. At number 6, this album came out of nowhere. I gotta thank my boy Alex for putting me on. But yeah, Contention with Artillery from Heaven. This album is absolutely ridiculous. It's metallic hardcore that's very reminiscent of the late 90s style of metallic hardcore, like, you know, Abnegation or Congress or even like Morning Again. All stuff that I loved, okay? But I cannot get enough of this album. These guys, these kids are onto something here, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, number 5, I have Sekrets with Towards the Night Side, another Svartalfheim's project with incredible riffs and perfectly placed keys. It's very reminiscent of the classic material from bands like Emperor or Limbionic Art. Number 4, woo, More Mother, the Great Bailout. Avant-garde, experimental music. It can't be like dumped into a box very easily because it has elements of free jazz and Afrofuturism and ambient music and industrial music, but it is so compelling. It just incredible. Number 3, we have Alceste with La Chance de l'Aurore, a beautiful shoegaze album with black metal elements with a lot of intricacy and passion throughout. I did a review for that. I'll link it down there in the description section. Number 2, another album that came out of nowhere. Didn't even know this was coming, but god damn it, is it just incredible. Nea Holland with Folkstorm. Yet again, another Svartalfheim's project. I told y'all he ran this year with black metal, man. The Sekrets album was hard to beat, but this one did it. The riffs and the atmosphere remind me a bit of the older As Illicitath material, which makes sense because it looks like this was written, you know, quite some time ago, but it was just released and I am in love. The second I put this on, if y'all could have seen the smile on my face, I was like, god damn it, this guy, I don't know how he manages to make so much incredible black metal, but for something that came out not that long ago to be this high on the list, because I usually compose this list based on how often I return to albums. And yeah, that should tell you something, because I returned to this over and over again, probably for like a straight up week. It was like, if I'm in a black metal mood, I'm throwing this on. So yeah, incredible album, incredible musician. Yeah. And that lands us at the #1 spot. And I feel like no one should be surprised by what this is. I feel like if you've even paid a little bit of attention to my channel, if you've listened to even a little bit of something that's come out of my big dumb face over the years that I've been on the YouTuberies, you should not be surprised at what my #1 spot is, okay? Come on, man. #1 album of the year, the album that I return to the most, the album that blew me away the most. The Cure, Songs of a Lost World. Come on, man. Y'all already know that there are two people that can put a stop to the world for me. That is Robert Smith and David Tibet. And while we didn't technically get a new album from Tibet, we did get some projects, which I'll drop down in the honorable mention section. We did get something from Robert Smith and crew. And what is there to say about this album? I think it's perfect. You know, it's absolutely the best thing that they've done since Bloodflowers. And this gives me the feeling of a combination of Bloodflowers and Disintegration. And it is a glorious album. The songwriting is stellar. The compositions are amazing. I think the production is great. And it's just a beautiful album, man. It's a beautiful album that could only be from The Cure. And it's just so impressive to me that this dude's been in the game, what, 40 years? And he's still able to make heartbreaking, poignant, incredibly well-crafted music. It's just such a beautiful album. So yeah, that is my #1. If you've not listened to the album and you like The Cure, I think you're nuts. But yeah, go listen to it. But yeah, that's gonna do it for this list. Hopefully y'all enjoyed the list. Even if you didn't, I feel sorry for you, but I feel even more sorry for your mother. But don't forget to drop your list down there in the comment section. And if you're a fellow YouTube nerd like me, make sure you drop your link down there in the comment section. Some of y'all have already watched, some people I may have missed. So yeah, that's gonna do it. Hopefully this is going to be an even better year for music. And yeah, let's keep this shit going, y'all. That's it. As usual, thank you for living, thank you for loving, thank you for being you, and I will see y'all next time. All right? Peace out.